Hello everybody, this is Ryan and welcome to the Long Drive. This will be a bit of a informative playthrough, if you can call it that. There's no real ending, but we'll do a fun playthrough and hope you enjoy the journey with me. But I will be giving some tips and stuff. I've seen some people do some things wrong and get frustrated. So stick tuned if you want some advice on some things. But anyway, let's get straight to it. We're going over to random seed. Whatever the game gives us. We're going mix biomes, auto clutch, auto shift, and I reset my kilometers for this journey. You can do manual shifting if that's what you like. You have better control in your car with speed and so, but you know what, we want to relax, so let's go auto. Anyway, this is the perfect car actually for this playthrough. To start off, even though this is not a good car at all, this is a bad car. I do not like this one, but the reason I say it's a good car is because I get to show you the two-stroke, because a lot of people struggle with the two-stroke. So anyway, the first thing you want to do is get your car up and running. So let's start with the engine first. Let's take the gas and the two-stroke. If you see like a fuel tank, you'll say it's a fuel tank in the engine compartment. You just fill it up with gas like this. There we go. And then you take your oil, that should be around here, and I'm just going to turn on this light in case it's a bit too dark. Take your oil. Let's just, oh, damn, this camera can bug sometimes. And you fill it up with 3% oil. So remember, there's probably better ratios, but a safe bet for all two strokes that will always work is 97% gas, 3% oil. There's no radiator in this car, so we don't need water. It's air cooled. So engine is fine like it is right now. Once we get better cars, I'll show you how those work. Anyway, let's get our tires sorted right now, and we'll start off by taking out the spare. And the reason is, you don't really need a spare unless you completely wreck your car and you lose all your tires, all your wheels. Alright, so what we're doing is just checking the quality of the tires. And you can see this one is absolutely horrendously bad. So we'll take that off. And tires do matter. It gives you better grip and so on. So I do recommend trying to put the best tires on your car as possible. So let's just get those sorted. And you know what? I'm going to leave that one there because we have a nice and shiny one right over here. And I will show the cleaning eventually, but we won't be keeping this car too long. So let's just quickly check this tire, and you see that tire was perfect. That's a perfect tire over there. Alright, so our tires are sorted and our car is basically ready to go. So now what we want to do, take this crate, and this is a very important thing you should know, is always use crates. Never ever put loose things in your car. And the reason being is, if you're gonna take stuff and you're just gonna, man, I hate those bunnies. That sound scares me. Anyway, never put stuff just loose in your car. And the, damn, just killed itself running into the wall. These things can be very dangerous. They'll kill you very quickly. Anyway, back to the point. Don't put things loose in your car like this, as when you're driving, the physics start bugging out a bit and your car will randomly freeze and kill you or fly you into the air. And don't do this. Instead, put them in crates, because what crates does, they freeze the physics. So that thing is no longer independent. It's almost like it's part of the car. And you won't have the trouble of your car freezing and glitching and stuff like that. So remember, always put your stuff in crates. Now the other thing you can use is a glove compartment. Now unfortunately this car doesn't have the correct one. The ones where you have to open the glove compartment functions exactly like a crate. So then you can use it also as a crate. But this one unfortunately is a bad car and it doesn't even have a proper glove compartment. Anyway, I took out the stuff inside there, we don't need it. So our car is basically ready to go. Now we just have to put everything in it and clean it up. So let's get the binoculars. We're going to need those, and we get our light, since we need a light. And now let's get everything we need. The dumbbells and the gold you can use to weigh down your car. If you have a car that's The engine is example at the rear, its front wheel and so forth. You have trouble steering, there's not a lot of weight in front and so on. You can actually use gold to weigh out your car, and I'll show that here by look at a car when I drop this gold. You see how it went down? Yeah, that is a really good way of and actually we'll take this gold with us, and the reason being, let's try and collect all the gold we can find just for the fun of it. There's no real reason to do it, I'm just going to do it for the fun. Let's see how much gold we can gather. Anyway, so you can use gold and the dumbbells to balance your car if that is required. Now downstairs we don't really have anything important, that's just alcohol. Don't worry about alcohol. These things you can actually use to make yourself railings. You can attach it, oh, that's a bad example, let's do it like this. Just attach it by pressing G and you can make stuff like railings and stuff on your trucks, on your cars, whatever. But in the end of the day you still have to put loose things, and I do not recommend it. Never put loose things in your car. We have some paint here, we're going to use that in a second. Nice red paint. This is diesel. You can take this wood, put it at the back of your car, but yet again it will be something loose. Now you might say, well, what's the point then if you can't put stuff loose? And yeah, it's a bug, and I think it's something to do with Unity game engine, the way its physics work. But it's an early access game, it will fix eventually. But instead, just use crates. You're gonna find a lot of these crates. Just put them inside your car, put stuff inside, and you will be good to go. So let's quickly show the paint, what you want to do, and let's quickly see if I have an example here for rust. Alright, there's no real rust on the paint job. There's rust on the wheel caps. If your car is rusted, don't paint it, you won't be able to see it. But once there's color, you can start painting it. Now I do recommend, and I'll show you this in a second. See, there we have a nice red color. One thing you always want to do is, before you're painting, is use jizz or sponges, these ones, sponges, to clean the car. And the reason being, you're going to get a much clearer picture of the color of the paint. I'll show you this in a second. Let's just, sometimes it takes a bit to update. Let's clean it, come on, update so I can see. Alright, that one's empty. I don't think it cleaned all the way, so let's get the sponge. The sponge does exactly the same thing. So let's quickly scrubby, and there we go. So now you can, maybe this one as well. It's still not clean all the way. Alright, you see now the car is completely shine. Now you can clearly see the difference in the paint we did. You can clearly see there's a difference. So let's continue painting this one until we have the same color, and that's about the same. Yeah, that's about the same. So yeah, remember, always clean your car before you start painting, as it will make it much easier for you to see what you're actually doing. So let's just use all this paint. Actually, we'll have different color doors and so on, but I'm not planning to keep this car. Actually, this is a bad car. You want to swap it out as soon as you can for a better car. But since we're doing a bit of a guide, I'm just doing all this, and we don't know when we're gonna get another car. So yeah, alright, this sponge is finished. It's not working anymore. Alright, let's show the brush quickly when it comes to rust. Are our bumpers rusted? Maybe we can show it there. Nope. Alright, so let's show it on a wheel cap. When it comes to wheel caps and the wheels, I do recommend taking them off. Also the mirrors. Take them off when you scrub them, as when you do it like this, you end up scraping your paint sometimes. It's like the heat box or something isn't exactly perfect. So take them off when you clean them. Come on. This can take sometimes a bit long. I really wish they would make the time a little bit less to clean these things. Right, so you just continue scrubbing it until it is, you see it slowly changing color. So that's what you're basically going to end up doing with the paint. Until you see a color, you have to scrub. If it's rust or like this kind of color that it was there, You use it and you scrub it until it's nice and clean. Then you can start painting it. Alright, so let's just continue scrubbing it while we're busy with this. It's always nice. It's part of the game, you know. Make your car nice and clean, and that's just part of the game. And we don't know when we will be finding another car, so we might as well just take the time and make this car all nice and clean. Alright, come on. Please. Come on. There we go. Alright, and the brush is completely finished. What? No, that's not what I was saying. There we go. And there we go. Alright. Next thing we're gonna do is, let's see, what's next? We already went down. We already got, that bunny's freaky. Don't worry about the BB. It's absolutely useless. You don't need it. It can't do anything. You will shoot stuff and they will never die. There's more paint. It's nothing we need. Let's go in here. That's just a bucket of water. Don't worry about the TV. It doesn't really do anything. You could play around with it. Any of these things, don't bother. We will take the clock actually, and the reason being, I'll show you. We're gonna put it inside our car, and it will give us a nice way of watching the time. So let's just put it nicely, and we press G and we attach it, and this way we can have a nice look at time. Alright, so now for upstairs. Now you can jump up here and go upstairs, but I'm gonna do it the other way so you can just see. While we're here, let's put the lights on. So let's go outside. Don't worry about the barrels outside. They usually just filled with water and stuff. We don't need it right now. Alright, if you struggle getting in there, just crouch and press jump and forward. There's some more jizz here. We can maybe clean up that one door. Let's throw that down there. And the one important thing that's really important that you should get up here is this boy, the hose. And the reason being is it can save your life, trust me. If you run out of gas, you can siphon some gas out of other cars. Let's get this punch. I don't think we're going to use it. Let's just get it. Alright. The katana, whatever you call it, is useless. Don't use it. Don't even take it. Don't bother. You won't be able to defend yourself with those things, trust me. Alright, so now let's quickly finish up with our car. Let's clean this baby up. Now, this will be different colored doors since we don't have enough paint. I kind of like the old color. It's like a grayish, but it's kind of nice. Alright, let's just continue cleaning quickly. Get our car ready. There we go. Alright, we finished with that. We don't need any more jizz. Jizz is only good to making it shine. The back is shine. Alright, now the hose. Here's the hose, and that's the last piece. Usually I just put this in a glove compartment, but we don't have a proper glove compartment. And I'll show the physics system here if it lets me. Just roll it up and put it over there and let it go. And you saw how it all of a sudden stopped moving. The physics froze, so it won't give you any trouble falling out and so on. Okay, so that's everything you need here and to get ready to go. So let's open the doors and hit the road. I don't want to spend the whole episode in here, and let's just put our mirrors in a correct way, as I do drive mostly inside the car and I do like to watch in the mirror. This one is useless, I never use it. Anyway, before we go, if you really don't want to leave the BB and you really want a gun before you leave, just go into the chimney actually, and there should be, yeah, there it is. There's a rusty old revolver. So if you really want a gun, there is one, but it's just not really worth it. Yeah, alright, there's a Harry Potter broom in the well as well. And we'll get that one eventually. I don't want to struggle getting out of places and so forth. Alright, and the last thing, let's just quickly look here. There is a letter from your mom. Please visit me, love, mom. In case you were wondering why we are driving. Okay, now it is getting dark. It gets darker and start getting dark around 6. And for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna sleep so we can see some proper lighting. Alright, so it's finally almost daytime and it's actually made it worse, but the sun starts getting up at 3 o'clock, so we should be good. Anyway, There's nothing really close by we can see. There's a bus station there, but it never has anything. So let's hit the road and see if we can find any place where we might find a better car or things like that. Now you can do engine swaps in the cars, but for a car like this, it's not a recommended thing, mainly due to the fact it doesn't have a radiator and it will overheat eventually. So this car, I don't like these things, but it's a good thing to show in the beginning a bad car. There's a lot better cars and I'll show you when we get them. Anyway, let's do the shop. I won't be skipping anything in or fast forwarding anything in this first episode, just so to show how the game is in the beginning. Most of you probably already have the game, but you know, for those that don't have the game, we will be showing some driving in the beginning, just what the game is all about. Anyway, in the future episodes, I will be fast forwarding or skipping, depending on what you guys would like. Whether I skip it or fast forward it, it's up to you. Leave a comment, and I will look at it, and we'll do it from that way. Anyway, hopefully we can find some place pretty soon. I don't want the episode to be too long. Now, there is a ship right over there, and we can probably end up going there. Now the ships don't really have anything except oil and gas and diesel and water and alcohol and those kind of things. So it's not an interesting POI, point of interest per se, but it's at least something for this episode. And I mean, we can always use the gas. We don't have a lot of it, and we did take some oil with us, so we do have enough oil to make proper mix. Let's go to this ship. No idea how a ship ended up here, but you know, I'm questioning. Always go to the side that's leaning to, that's the opening. And here we are. You know what, maybe we can even drive in here. Yep, we can actually. Let's stop our car. Always remember your handbrake, it's space, otherwise your car ends up running away from you. Alright, let's quickly find some gas. Let's start at this point and then we'll know exactly where we were. This is empty. Not a good start. Empty. Alcohol, no reason for that, there's no purpose. Empty. Okay, this is not good so far. Alcohol. What was this ship carrying? Empty. Oil. Okay, well, but we do have oil. That's oil and gas. I would preferably like to do mixing myself rather than taking stuff like that. Okay, come on, game, give me. Oh, right, here's gas. All right, so we are safe. You have a weight, and if you slow moving, just put it on the ground and push it like this. Sort of hard to control, but yeah. All right, come on, let's get here quickly. All right, let's fill her up, but we have to remember you don't need to open the caps when you're filling something. You just open a cap you want to pour into. Alright, so we just like that. Now we have to remember to keep space for the oil. That's a bad thing about two strokes. So let's put we'll put around 21, and that should be enough, I think. And then we don't have to worry about gas. At least our gas would be no issue. And that's one thing I would like them to change, is to make gas actually rarer, as I've never been in a situation where I've run out of gas. So I don't know if this oil is going to be enough, to be honest. That's 1%, that's 3%. And how much oil do we have left? 2.3 liters. That's perfect. Alright. Let's put that back like that. Let's close that. And now yeah, it's not completely full. We do have gas. We could probably fill it all the way, but that would be more than enough before we can run out of gas, and by that time we would find another car. All right, I think I'm gonna end the episode over here, and we'll continue next time. I wasn't too exciting. The first episode was just a bit of guiding how to get going, basically. But yeah, we'll get going in the future, and it will be much more exciting since now we are on the road. So join me next time. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.